Good morning. It is a beautiful morning. And we are making breakfast. Yep, and I have my helper. He's waiting for bacon. And today for breakfast, I'm making basically a McDonald's Egg McMuffin. So I got my bacon going right now, and I got my eggs here getting ready to cook that, and I got a little, where's the device? This thing, you pour the egg in it and let it cook there, and then flip it and get the side, and then I've got egg, muffins as well, so this is really cool. So we'll see how that works out. But on tap for today is relaxing, and there's a couple hikes that I want to do. So we'll do that later. I think it's going to be warmer than it was yesterday, so it might be kind of a hot day. But still enjoying and the trees are just starting to turn. Just starting to see some of the oranges over there. But so far, a nice park. I'm on the Old Henderson Trail. This is about 1.5 miles that follows an old road to Henderson, Texas. So I guess there's an old road that went from Shreveport to Henderson, and this trail follows parts of that old road, but it's a fairly well-defined trail, pretty short, easy walk in the forest. So again, great option for families if you got small kids. It's wide open trail, flat, so should be a very easy hike. A nice walk in the woods for this morning. At least there's a decent breeze. I guess they weren't kidding. I mean, there's really, it's still pretty warm this time of year, so it's not like even the foliage is dropping yet, but like to have pine trees where you've got this much basically dead foliage and pines, and then this stuff, which usually probably should be pretty full of, you know, vines and leaves, is just bone dry. So I guess they just haven't had any rain. There's a stand of super tall pine trees right here. Really tall. For sure over 100 feet. Breeze here is perfect. It's actually a good spot to take a break. Come here, bro. So we're at the end of the Old Henderson Road trail. Again, it was 1.5 miles maybe. Pretty much flat the entire way. You know, little kids, there's bridges over water areas, so you don't really have to worry about if there was rain, and there are sections which would get muddy, but obviously completely dry, but there are little bridges here and there. All right, finished with the trail, back at the trailhead, head back to camp and relax. On the Harmony Hill Trail, and you can see here's some definite burn evidence in this area on these pine trees. This whole section actually near the trail, there's lots of burn marks on these pines. As you can see, really dark areas all in the lower areas. If the state park, if there was a fire and that's kind of what happened, or if that was more of a controlled burn, but definitely interesting to see all those burned pines. This is Harmony Hill Cemetery. It's been here since, well, the land has been here since like 1852. The oldest gravesite in here is J.W. Hall, who's buried in 1844. So this now has a lot of veterans from the different world wars as part of the cemetery in the county. So very interesting. I mean, all these stones are in excellent condition. Here's one that's super old. Mary Jane Bryant, 1833 to 1896. And really well kept cemetery. I mean, not that I'm an expert in cemeteries by any stretch, but obviously still in use and still having new plots going in. But I mean, in general, the whole place is very well kept, which is nice to see for something this old. There you go. That's pretty much it for the Harvest Hills Cemetery. This is literally right outside of the state park, so if you're in this area and you're, I mean, I guess if you're into genealogy, that kind of thing, it's pretty interesting, and nice little spot if you're into some of the historical aspects. So and it's walkable from the main gate at the park, so I recommend it. I've pretty much walked around all the areas in the state park, and it's got a pretty good mix of pretty sizable day use area. This whole parking lot basically. So they have a fishing pier, boat dock, they have a beach area. So there's a lot of options for using the park just from a day use perspective. And you can come out here. They've got picnic tables and barbecue grills lined up along the water. They have, which I haven't seen up close, but they have the screen shelters, which are have electric power, but no, just screened in shelters. And then they do have some cabins with AC, like 2 or 3 that I saw next in the loop that I'm at. And then they have a section with the screen shelters, which I'll show you in a second. But a not particularly big park. Like I said, the hiking trails were only a little over a mile, mile and a half, and there's 3 of those roughly. So but a great option for a quick weekend camping trip. That's probably why it was so popular and crowded last night. This is your typical shelter. It's got picnic table, screening area, it's got electric, water, great. No AC though. I've rented these once before years ago. Just a cement floor, and they've got, I think, a table inside. So I mean, not something I would use in the summertime, but in the fall and the spring, that way you wouldn't have to bring a tent. You could, you know, be out of the elements, at least in there with your cots and stuff, and then you could eat in there if it was real buggy. That would be nice. But the one thing they don't allow in the shelters, which is annoying, is they don't allow pets. And I kind of get it, but you know, from my point of view, like Arkansas, in the camper cabins, you just pay an extra fee for pets. So I just think you should charge people for using them in the cleaning fee if there's an issue. But I would rent them more often if I could have my dog in there. And it's a cement floor. I mean, if you have an accident, it's not that hard to clean up. These are the cabins with AC and electric full-on cabins. So I've never been in one, but they look pretty nice. I don't know how many they sleep, but those would be a great option for those people that don't really want to do the elements or deal with heat issues or cooling. So I'm staying at Bee Tree on this loop, and this is again all pretty much RV sites with so this one has a shelter, which is kind of nice. Pretty much in this whole section, all of the sites are actually pretty good. Just looking at the sites, the pads are in good shape, and for the most part they're pretty much level. I'm at site 49, which is on the water, and all the sites on the water I think are really, pretty much all of them are good. I happen to be like in the very center of that section, so what I found is the sites on the water, at least the entire time I've been here, there's always been a really solid breeze throughout the day. It calms down a little bit at night, but and a lot of huge trees, so pretty much fully shaded most of the day, or dappled sunlight, but very, very nice. The ones that are on the not on the water side, they generally back up to some forested areas, so you have a little bit more I guess closed in area or privacy if you want. You're back in your RV or your tent area. So I would say this is a great park. Like, see some of these sites right here, 53, freaking awesome site. Look at that. That is a nice site, and they've got an awesome cover. So I don't have that at my site. Some of them don't, some of them do, so I don't know if there's an extra fee, but 53 to me is, man, this was a really good site. At the end of the day, just finished dinner. I had a delicious steak and fries and some onion with that. The day is winding down, the sun is setting, just hanging out by the fire. Really relaxing, favorite part of the day. Tomorrow is really just packing up, having breakfast in the morning and leaving, so I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I'd like to thank you for watching along, and if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. If not, a thumbs down. If you want more, please think about subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.